President Trump's nominee for Veterans Affairs Secretary, Dr. Ronny Jackson, is facing more allegations of misconduct from his time in the White House medical unit. Jackson also served under Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama. He is accused of overseeing a hostile workplace environment, as well as drinking while on duty and improperly distributing medication. Ed O'Keefe has more.
We're seeing a pattern here.
The top Democrat on the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee said his office had received complaints about Dr. Ronny Jackson from 23 current and former colleagues.
We've got military people that came to me and said, we've got a problem here, and we have to follow up on that as a Senate.
The unverified allegations are outlined in a 2-page document released by committee Democrats this afternoon. They include examples of Jackson creating a hostile work environment, accusations of excessive drinking, including one instance where he wrecked a government vehicle. Jackson directly denied that. And improperly dispensing medications like the sleep aid Ambien and the opioid Percocet. Tester said that earned him the nickname Candyman from White House staff.
It was absolutely unfair for him to drop the Candyman line.
Dr. Jackson's record as a White House physician has been impeccable. In fact,
White House officials today strongly defended Jackson. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders noted he had been the subject of 4 background checks.
Because Dr. Jackson has worked within arm's reach of 3 presidents, he has received more vetting than most nominees.
I'm looking forward to getting it back on track.
Jackson has been equally defiant. He told President Trump he wants the opportunity to defend himself at a confirmation hearing. This morning, Republican Committee Chairman Johnny Isakson promised just that.
So I'm going to do it to make sure we have an open, fair hearing for the American people.
But Republicans are divided over how to proceed. When I asked one senior Republican senator earlier, what's the level of patience among his GOP colleagues for all this drama, he said it's, quote, very thin. Elaine?
Well, Ed, what more can you tell us about the allegations in that report? And are you surprised the White House is standing by Jackson at this point?
Not necessarily surprising that the White House is standing by him, because they've made clear the doctor is the one that really wants to proceed with this. And they went out guns blazing today, fully defending him, noting the fact that he's been vetted before, both by the Pentagon and now by the FBI for this nomination. Look, the allegations that were released in a 2-page document by Senate Democrats on the Veterans Committee today run the gamut from concerns about how he comported himself as boss of the White House medical unit to certain things that may or may not have happened on overseas travel. There's one allegation that at some point he was at a Secret Service goodbye party and was so drunk that he damaged a government vehicle. He denied that allegation when he spoke briefly with reporters at the White House who spotted him earlier today. The reason Democrats appear to have released these so far unproven and essentially blind quote allegations is that they believe it's just got to get out there in order for the full Senate to understand the scope of Jackson's experience and the concerns about him, and in a bid to sort of accelerate this process and convince the White House to cough up more information.
Well, Ed, is it clear if 4 background investigations had been conducted, how could the White House not have known about the allegations against Jackson?
Here's the thing, Elaine. What are those 4 background investigations? Who conducted them? When? What did they cover? The White House wouldn't say today. You ask senators up here at the Capitol, they haven't seen them. They're not aware of them. We know that there have been some Pentagon watchdog inquiries into his leadership of the medical office. We know that he underwent an FBI background check that at least some senators on the committee were able to review today. And beyond that, what exactly he did is unclear. But Sarah Sanders, the White House press secretary, was correct to say that given the proximity he would have to 3 presidents, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and now Donald Trump, there would have to be some kind of a review of his performance and his ability to do the job each and every time he was put in that position.
Well, another concern lawmakers have about Jackson is his lack of experience. Here's what Democratic Senator Chris Coons said Wednesday.
He has never managed anything like the Veterans Administration, which spends about $180 billion a year, employs about 370,000 people, and provides care to about 9 million veterans. To nominate someone for that just because they're a physician who you like personally, but has no significant management experience of a complex healthcare system, strikes me as an invitation for challenges in the confirmation process here on the Hill.
So, Ed, if Jackson's alleged behavior doesn't derail his confirmation, could his lack of experience still be a problem?
Absolutely, and that was the lead primary concern of senators in both parties coming out of the weekend before we learned what exactly he was facing in terms of allegations from current and former military officials. The White House Medical Office, you may remember, Elaine, I know you used to cover the White House. There's about 70 people who work for it. They travel with the president and the vice president. They treat people there at the White House complex. They are mostly military officials. That, in essence, is a large sort of neighborhood clinic for about the 2,000 people who work there on a regular basis. It is not the Department of Veterans Affairs. It's not the Veterans Administration. So many lawmakers up here say that. It's the Department of Veterans Affairs. Small pet peeve of mine, but I digress. 350,000 employees across the country, brain surgeons, psychologists, nurses, people who dig the graves at national cemeteries all over the country. It's a sprawling organization. You look at previous VA secretaries, they are people who've had significant administrative responsibilities, either as corporate executives or other government officials who've organized and managed some kind of an agency. In this case, the doctor, despite being a battlefield surgeon and a rear admiral in the Navy, is believed to be ill-equipped to lead the department.
All right, the ever-accurate, ever-precise Ed O'Keefe on Capitol Hill for us. Ed, thank you very much.
Take care.